Most agree it's a problem, but it appears that no one at the Roundhouse can agree on how to fix it. For decades, all homeowners in New Mexico have been shielded from major property tax hikes, which sounds good in theory. News 13's Brittany Bade reports on the unintended consequences it is now creating.
But I really think this is a cautionary tale. What was pushed through as a fix to a small part of our state 20 years later has turned into a complete nightmare for the entire state.
20 years ago, Santa Fe homeowners were getting pummeled by ballooning property taxes. So the legislature passed a statewide law prohibiting residential property taxes from increasing by more than 3% a year.
Because we've had this 3% cap for 20 years, it's having some unintended consequences, and I think we need to look at those.
Representative Matthew McQueen says the 3% cap was originally intended to prevent homeowners from getting priced out of their neighborhoods.
Nobody wants to think about their grandmother having to sell their home because they can't afford the property taxes. But at the same time, counties are faced with ever-increasing needs for money for schools and roads and jails and hospitals.
Decades into the law, counties are now losing out on millions in revenue because thousands of longtime homeowners across the state are paying far less in property taxes than what their property is actually worth.
If the property value is going up by more than 3% a year and the tax can only go by 3% a year, you can start to build in a pretty big gap there.
As state law stands now, the only way to tax a property on its actual value is once a new owner buys it, and the property tax resets to the current and correct value, leading to major tax disparities in single neighborhoods.
So we do have this incredible disparity where you've got neighbors living next to each other, where someone's paying a third of the property tax as their neighbor who just bought in.
To help recoup some of that revenue and take the burden off new buyers, House Bill 71 wants to take that 3% cap away from certain properties.
But if the residential property is essentially a second home or a home that generates revenue on a part-time basis like an Airbnb, we're going to change that 3% cap to 10%.
McQueen says the property tax increase intended to target wealthy property owners.
People who have an investment property or 2 or 3 or more, or a second home, that's not the same worry that they're going to get priced out of that.
But several senators in the Tax, Business, and Transportation Committee felt this bill would unfairly penalize families, particularly in northern New Mexico, who have land or homes that have been passed down from generation to generation.
A 10% tax increase can be a huge number, and it just forces you to sell.
And in some of these small communities are already struggling to just pay the tax.
So while everyone agreed the 3% cap is creating problems, the senators did not think this bill was the way to fix it, tabling the effort until next year.
It's a messy problem. There's no dispute about that.
Brittany Bade, KRQE News 13.
Representative McQueen says they've been working on this bill for the last 4 years, and it continues to be a work in progress. He intends to bring back that bill next year.